I mentioned this in an episode from the history of Olympic Games for a purpose, because I consider it as a symbol of the devaluation of young talent. These young people competing 100 years ago in Stockholm were insulted, really, if you think of it. Why were they singled out and denied their right deserve, which was the gold coin? Well, symbolically, the removal of gold coins from circulation was another symbol. That was an insult to talented entrepreneurs. They didn't deserve the gold coin any more than the Olympic champions deserved their gold medal in 1912. So the gold coins were removed, never to put back into circulation. It's a symbol, and I wanted everybody to understand the symbolic meaning of gold. Now, my book is about a new theory of gold. I've always felt that the traditional theory of gold, even those economists who were in favor of the gold standard, was a negative theory, a negative approach to gold. I'm talking about economists such as Ludwig von Mises or Friedrich Hayek, and going centuries back, David Ricardo. They wanted the gold standard, but their theory of gold was negative in the following sense. Especially Hayek. He almost goes as far as saying that the gold standard is a necessary evil. There would be no need for it if governments were trustworthy. But they are not. So we have to have the gold standard. That's a negative approach. Take Mises. Mises says that it is the temptation to tamper with the value of the unit of money, which makes the gold standard necessary. In this way, the growth in the stock of money is tied to the profitability of the gold mining industry, which the government has no ways to tamper with. So that's again a negative approach. You have to have the gold standard because you want to remove the control of the increase in the stock of money from the hands of the government or the central bank. Now, please, I'm not criticizing this. This is all valid. I'm just saying that this is negative. There should be a positive side to it. Well, I'm offering a positive theory of gold. In my view, there's no need to be apologetic about the gold standard. In a way, Hayek is apologizing for the gold standard, and Mises as well. But there's no need for that, because according to my positive theory of gold, the gold standard has a positive aspect to it, which one should understand in order to appreciate gold. So I'm criticizing Mises, I'm criticizing Hayek, And I'm criticizing David Ricardo because they missed the point of contact between gold on the one hand and interest on the other. They have all missed that. And all the other economists in between. And I think it's very important to understand that the theory of interest makes no sense unless you refer specifically to gold. And of course, you know that out of the theory of interest grows a lot of things which economics is about. Practically, there's no chapter in economics which would not have some relationship to the concept of interest. I'll be more specific. It's not just that these economists have missed the point of contact between gold and interest, but more specifically, they have missed the contact between gold and senescence. Now, this is an English word which is not used very often. Senescence means the process of aging, of getting older, human beings getting older. And man knows that with aging, his surplus of mental and physical energy will give way to a deficit. He will be less and less able to fend for himself. He will depend, if he wants to have a happy and relatively carefree old age, he will have to have savings. And then, when he needs it, he can draw on his savings. That is to say, if he has any, if central planners and central bankers have not embezzled it. And of course, my suggestion is that unfortunately, most of the people who are going to draw pensions, the so-called baby boomers in the United States, if you know what I mean, they will find out the tragic truth that their savings have been embezzled by central bankers and central planners. So this is the approach, how I would like to put gold into the picture, that gold is the catalyst which makes our old age relatively carefree and relatively secure. And this actually is not my original idea. This goes back to Carl Menger, who lived in the latter part of the 19th century, died in 1921, at the age of 81 or 82. And Menger developed the theory of marketability. And there is a German word which was used by Menger, and the word is Absatzfähigkeit. And this is the original idea of Menger. And this is what is missing from the gold theory of Hayek, Mises, and the others. Because marketability is a quality of gold. It's the highest marketable, highest marketability which we as humans can experience in the market when we want to sell or we want to buy. if our money is made of the highest marketability, highest quality material, which is gold, then will be most efficient. And if you start diluting it, introducing other metals, or removing gold altogether and putting paper into circulation, then your terms of trade become worse and worse. Until the ultimate happens, what happened in Germany in 1923, what happened in Hungary in 1947, what happened most recently in Zimbabwe, in Africa, and tragically what is going to happen to the entire world during the next, I don't know how many years, but for the sake of argument, I would just put a number on it. 10 years, maybe less, maybe more. But roughly, we have another decade, a very painful decade, because there'll be a lot of suffering during this time when people come to the realization that their savings have been embezzled. It's gone, finished. There's no way to recover it. And you can actually see it with your own eyes and measure it. Just watch how the purchasing power of your paper money disappears. Year after year, month after month, day after day. And it's going to accelerate. And it doesn't matter whether it's US dollar or Japanese yen or euro or Swiss franc. They are all going down. In fact, some people say it's a race to the bottom. Who is going to reach the bottom first? That is the opposite idea of the Olympic ideal, that you want to be the first moving up, not the first moving down. Now, Mises was a quantity theorist. He made no bones about it. He believed in the quantity theory of money. And I am criticizing him for that. And I say, let's go back to Carl Menger. His theory of money is, in contrast, what I would call the quality theory of money. And he is not talking about the equilibrium theory of price. He's talking about the disequilibrium theory of price. And this is a very important difference. And when my book will be out, you can read more about it. I have little time to explain it now, so I'm not going into detail.